So hopefully we're live. Everything seems to be working okay at the minute. Okay, I thought I'd jump on. I know it's quite a quick one because I've not got everything sort of ready, but I've got about half an hour before my daughter's due home and before my son needs me to do something for him. But also my throat's actually getting quite sore, so I thought before I can completely lose my voice, I want to get as much done on these as I can do so that we can move on with other projects when my voice is back up to normal kind of speaking. I'm a bit bunged up, so you're gonna have to bear with me, but I'll do my best. I've got plenty of water with me, and unless there's people in the chat, I'm gonna keep quiet on this one as much as I can, just to save my voice. But obviously, if there's people in, I I can't help that I want to speak to people. So you'll be speaking to me with a bunged up nose. I'm a bit bunged up and a bit on the feeling a bit of a cold coming on. I need to see what was the last. What kind of colours we was on was up here somewhere. 278 165. So we're on this weird murky colour, which is 173 olive green, yellowish. So I'm just gonna start off and I'll put some music in when I actually upload this to YouTube so that at least you'll have some sound in the background. Hands are not great today either. I'm just feeling a bit weak. Cold light's coming on when you don't want it. Not even sure with lives whether you can post them afterwards with like a voiceover. They're not very fun and bright colours, these ones today, but they are what they are. This one's green gold. Reminds me of the colour of those, do you know, gold bars? My voice doesn't sound very good at all, does it? I'm really sorry. May Green 170. It's a bit brighter. I'm hoping I can put some music in the background once I actually upload this. I've not figured that bit out for my live stream yet, but I will have a look if that's possible. Earth Green Yellowish, number 168. Basically, what I'm doing is just putting one full layer down. Excuse me, putting one full layer down as light as I sort of can, depending on how your skills are, depends on how light you can get this, and also depends on whether you have any issues with your hands. I can get lighter on some occasions, but generally you use these colours because you want to see the colour, or you want to build up that colour, so you generally have more on there than a light layer. But this is basically so that I get used to what these pencils perform like, and also have a reference back to what colour looks like what at what point. You might have the perfect colour, but then realise you can't build that colour as intense as what you want it. Yet you might have a different colour, but because you can build that saturation up really, really strong, it might look like the colour that you actually want. So that's why I always think it's a good idea to do swatches with any new materials, because something in a Faber Castell set like this may look entirely different to a different Faber Castell set or another brand. So it's always worth doing the swatches. I generally do them over just one sheet, but with these being such a big set, I have sort of tried to condense it to as few sheets as I can, and I think it's 3.5 sheets. So this is the third one, then we've got one more after that, and then we should be done with this set. Don't like how I've not blended that one very well. Definitely shows in your skills when you're poorly. Nearly the end of this tray as well. Hopefully some nicer colours on the next swap and the next tray. This is chromium green opaque. with some very strange names they have for these colours. The reason why I started going in circular motions is because that's how I generally do actual drawings, and I moved away from this linear kind of style halfway through doing this. But the linear style's definitely got its place, and it doesn't take as long as the circular ones. So I'm just wondering if there's like a middle ground where I could use both techniques. One to make things a little bit quicker, but also still get the colour. And it seems to be, if you want to build up the layers, then circular is definitely a good way to go for the saturation of it. I mean, you can press really hard in a straight line, but if you want control on a surface or on a contour of a surface of what you're drawing, then building it up in tiny circles is definitely a great technique for that. I don't know if you noticed, but as I'm doing this, I sort of go backwards and forwards on the pencil itself. So, further away you are, the less pressure you put on, the closer you are, and more directly down, you're pushing right into those hills and valleys and burnishing the papers. And that's the kind of effect that I want on this side of it. But as I go up, I want to move my hand further away from the tip of the pencil and more on a side of the pencil. I'm also lifting it away and turning the pencil so that I can keep a sharp point, or as sharper point as I can do on paper. This one's quite a muted green. This is called Earth Green. It's number 172. And this is going to have some uses for backgrounds. I don't know if the camera's picking it up there, but basically you can sort of see the texture of the paper as you're putting this down. And what you're doing, the harder you press, is the more of them holes that you're filling in. And obviously, the closer to the tip of the pencil, the more pressure you're putting into them valleys to get more saturation out of that colour. This is generally what I do with multicoloured pencils, so I would go in with different colours and put different highlights and different, depending on where the light source is coming from and what kind of light source it is, you can change the shape of an object, which I'll show you in future videos. So I think if you're starting off with any kind of art, if you start off with graphite, once you've got your values correct, it doesn't matter what colour you put down, because it's your values that actually make the shapes that you're drawing. So if you can sort of, you don't even have to master graphite, but if you get a really good knowledge of values from using graphite, then you've got a better chance at putting the right values in with your colours. You've probably seen plenty of different images out there of people using different colours in areas that you wouldn't have, like bright yellows and greens and stuff on people's faces, yet it still looks really good because of the values. The values are correct. Going more on the reds. Nope, browns even. This is Caput Mortuum. 169. Like I said, strange. These are very earthy tones. I've not decided yet where I want to keep these and in what order, but especially for the beginning few, um, the first few like drawings I'm going to be doing, I'm going to keep them as they come. But obviously these can be rearranged, and that's the good thing about doing these swatches in square boxes, is that you can, cut them out and rearrange them so it's in the right order for your pencils. I've done that several times. Just have to put them where you want them and use some school glue or Pritt stick glue sticks, anything like that, where it doesn't become too held down, so that if you do change your mind and want to move them to a different place, you still got the option of doing that. Definitely earthy tones. I'm just waiting for the doorbell to go, and then that'll be the end of the live stream. And I know this isn't going to be as long as the other ones that I've done. It's just a matter of I had half an hour free, so I thought I'd jump on and just get some of these boxes filled in. Hi, Andy. I'm poorly sick. I knew it was coming. Oh, I've done that far. I'm not on long, lovely. I'm just on just to fill some boxes in whilst I'm waiting for my daughter to come back. So thanks for jumping on, but um, I'm not going to be on too much longer, to be honest. But it's really nice for you to come on and say hello. How are you today? Yeah, I'm expecting my daughter and my mum and dad coming. They were supposed to be here earlier in the evening, and it got later and later, and I thought I'd best jump on for half hour just so I can get some of this sort of finished, because I'm getting behind on my editing now. Been drinking plenty of tea, but not much has helped at the minute. I can just feel it going worse and worse, so I thought before I lose my voice entirely, I best get some of these boxes done. It was great chatting to all of you yesterday. I had really a good chat yesterday with you guys. And that's the doorbell. Hoping my son answers it and lets them in. Yeah, they're in the house. I'm going to do this last pencil and then I'm going to get off. If you're still there, Andy, thanks for coming on. And hopefully I'll get an extra bit of time tomorrow to come on. I'm just not sure what time is best to do, whether it's during, because obviously my daytime is different to your daytime, and it doesn't always generally tend to be in the evenings when I can get the time to do it. But if you are still there, if you can put a note in or something in the comments afterwards, like once the stream has ended. Apparently, that helps with engagement and pushing your video out. Only learnt this today, and whether it's true or not, I'm not sure, but I'll be doing it for any small creators that I follow, including yourself. The hearts definitely make a difference. I know that for a fact myself now, after doing a couple of lives and getting you guys to try it yesterday. It does show up in your engagement, so all them hearts I've been sending everybody was worth it, because it seems to work for more than just myself. So apparently making a comment in the chat after the stream has ended is apparently a good way to push your video out as well. I'm gonna love and leave yous. Go and rest my voice a bit. Go and get a cup of tea. If you're watching this on the replay, if you can like the video, thumbs up, all that kind of good stuff. Leave a note in the comments, and I'm hopefully going to be back on again tomorrow if my voice hasn't completely given in. And we will be moving on to the next tray, which I'll reveal tomorrow. Thanks for joining in, guys. I'll see you soon.